he went to that level. But was this a situation where he simply sensed that you guys needed him to go to that level, especially in the first half when he started getting going with the drives?
Well, we need that from RJ every game, and you're right. He's been that in practice as well. I mean, he plays that way in preparation for a game. His just ability for a number of things, but specifically his scoring. He can score with the ball in his hands, off the ball. His ability to be able to finish at the rim. The way that Wake was playing us defensively. He was able to get to that mid-range, that floater. That's a shot that he's worked on a lot throughout his career. Feels really comfortable, and he was able to hit that. And then that set up, his ability to be able to shoot the ball from three. And he was in a great rhythm tonight. He's been in a great rhythm all season. It was the first time as a player and as a coach that I can remember the Smith Center crowd chanting a player's name. And I'm just really proud of him. I think, he's had a terrific career, but I feel like this year he's finally getting noticed, and I'm just really happy for him.
Hubert, how do you describe this team's ability to string together runs?
Well, I think, I challenged them at halftime. I felt like we were getting good shots in the first half. In the second half, I felt like defensively we were making mistakes that allowed Wake Forest to be able to score. And I challenged them at halftime to, to step it up defensively, and they did. I mean, I think, was it 26% in the second half. And because of the defense and because rebounding, I think this was a nice straight game that we've out-rebounded an opponent. It allows us to get out in transition. And we're just really good in transition. I mean, all five guys are running. We pitch the ball ahead. We've got great spacing so we can get to the basket. We can spray threes. We can hit our bigs in the middle of the post. And once we started running, that got us going. But it all started on the defensive end.
Seth's defense on Salas in the first half, it felt like he kind of stopped him from scoring pretty much. I mean, how good was he in your opinion?
Well, I mean, Seth is our best and most gifted on-ball one-on-one defender. He just is. His athleticism, his strength, he can pick up full court, make it hard for you to get across half court. And, he can play on the ball, he can get through screens off the ball. We ask him to do a lot. And he can score, and he can distribute, but his defense is something that is needed every game. And against those guards, not just Hunter, but, the other guards, Seth was on everybody. And I wish I could, split them in half and spread them around because he just has that ability to be able, even if someone scores, make them work hard to even get a shot and to make it.
Coach, what strides have you seen from Elliott over the years, especially as of late? It feels like he's a lot more assertive, scoring the basketball and in transition in particular.
Yeah, he is. One of the things that he's worked on a lot, two areas. One, defensively, I feel like he gets better and improves every day of practice and every day in the game in terms of the importance of playing defense before you play defense. At this level, you just can't play defense as soon as your man gets the ball. It's something is coming, so you have to be in the stands and ready to go. And I feel like Elliott continues just to get better and better at that every day. And then on the offensive end, he's learning how to pick his spots in terms of, on ball screens. A lot of times these teams are trying to go under because of his ability to be able to get to the rim and score and be able to distribute. And just his angles and change of pace is really allowing him to get to the basket, and it's really opening things up for him on the offensive end, and that's good news for us.
Coach, how would you assess how you guys handled the short turnaround from Saturday? It's a one-day prep, and the way you went through that, and also were able to turn things around tonight, when you're trailing at the half, were these sort of the signs of a team that's got a lot of good things going for it?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I told them yesterday is that we played 3 games in 2.5 days in the Bahamas, so actually we get an extra day of preparation.
Okay.
That's what I told them. It's the truth. And so, this is a schedule. It is what it is, and our job is to prepare and practice and play as hard as we can. And so it is tough playing an away game on Saturday and get back at 10. And today we had shoot around in the morning, then they had to go to class all this afternoon, and then we have pregame meal, and then we have a game. But that's your job and responsibility, and I was really proud of how they showed up and how they competed today.
Hubert, going back to RJ a little bit, you mentioned when obviously the crowd was chanting his name, and as he was checking out, it looked like you were able to, you and him kind of shared a hug. Can you kind of take us through that moment a little bit, what that was like kind of for you and from your perspective?
Well, I just was telling him I'm really proud of him. I've known RJ for 6 years. I saw him, when he was in high school. The first time that I saw him at AEU, and I went to Coach Williams, and I was like, this guy might be pretty good. I think we need to take a look at him. So I've known RJ for 6 years, and there's a relationship there for a long time. It's nothing about basketball, and I know him and his family, and that's what makes everybody but coaching fun. When you have those relationships for a long time, you see the growth not only on the court but off the court, and it just brings a lot of joy to a coach to have a front row seat to be able to see that. It is nothing better to watch the players. You see all the hard work and the effort and the preparation, and to see it come out in a game. It's the feeling of seeing your kids do something and do something well and have a smile on their face, and it's just a really nice moment.
Take a couple more, please.
Stay with
During this
RJ.
9-game win streak, you guys won all these games by double digits, and I know you mentioned after the Boston College game that you out-rebounded your opponents in all of these games, and you did that tonight as well. Is that the main ingredient of success during the streak that you guys have going right now, or is it something else?
No, I do. I think it's three things. One, a huge part is rebounding. Another part is our commitment to the defensive end. As I said before, they shot 26% in the second half, and that was something that was required and needed for us to play against a really good Wake Forest team. And then also taking care of the basketball. Just feel like, if you check those three boxes, doesn't matter whoever we play, that puts us in a position to be successful. So those are three things that we're looking at every game: defend, rebound, take care of the basketball.
Man, somebody was asking a question before that, and then Pat. Who was that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Harrison Ingram and his impact on rebounding, another double-digit rebounding game. We know you love rebounds.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about just his impact on that?
Yeah, so many times I say it's not an Armando Baycott rebounding game, it's a UNC rebounding game, to try to get everybody else to rebound and not just sit back and go, Armando's going to get it. And Harrison, he's just been terrific in terms of boxing out, rebounding, limiting teams to one shot every possession. He didn't have any offensive rebounds. I think he can be a great offensive rebounder as well. And so, he checks so many boxes for us. It's not just rebounding, scoring, posting up, passing, his personality. He's just one of those guys that makes you laugh, and he's not trying to be funny. He just walks in the locker room and just starts smiling. And him being in this program and on this team has been such a blessing for all of us.
Last two quick ones, Pat, then Andrew.
Hubert, the game at Wake Forest around this time last year was maybe an example of when the team didn't respond. And playing Wake tonight and just seeing the way that this team has really at every corner, did that make you appreciate it, that joy even more?
Well, I think this team is, I tell them that you have control over two things: how you react and how you respond. I feel like all year, in some form or fashion, I feel like our guys have reacted and responded. And as I tell them before, there's going to be sunny days and there are going to be rainy and windy days. And so when those days come, what is going to be our reaction and what is going to be our response? And I feel like we've responded the entire season.
Well, RJ said he knew when he was at 30 he was at his career high, and Elliott said he knew it as well, and he told RJ.
I didn't know it.
I was going to ask you, is there at any point maybe where you might know something like that late in the game, especially with the margin the way it was?
I didn't know that. Maybe I should. I just didn't know that.
Do you think it's healthy when a guy like Elliott tells RJ, you got to go for it, you got to score again, you got to get this record?
That's
And is
amazing. I mean, that is a great example of just the type of relationships that this team has. I've said this before, and there's been very few teams that I've been on, and as a player and as a coach, where players are thinking about their teammates, that they are celebrating the success of their teammates even more so than their baskets or their assists, their stats. That's one example of many that the conversations and the actions that our guys have done this year. And I think it's one of the things that has allowed us to continue to improve.
All right, thanks, Coach.